think for a lot of people is that they don't know um, what it is then they're actually looking at when they're on site. But
Mhm.
luckily, we have this wonderful network that we're on right now called YouTube, and you got to get on there and start learning
Yeah.
um, what it is these guys are doing. If not, you got to find someone who who you trust, who you can speak to, who gives you information, and find out exactly what it is done and what you're going to expect of your contractors.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, you actually said something that I've been doing a lot of, and that's at every stage, researching more for of what's about to happen. So for now, I've got my roof on. I find myself endlessly looking at specifics of what I need to be doing now to double check against my original plan, because things shift and change. And then I've realized, oh, I'm in Ghana. Let's say, for instance, what's the difference with the insulation here? Because that's a whole slab of metal that's cooking and heating up through the day, and we're
Yeah,
trying to spend money to cool it down. So I'm sure. So I'm just, again, like you just said, looking on the YouTube, trying to find what are the new products, what's in the market over in Ghana, and
yeah.
moving forward. Do you have any advice on that, even?
So the advice I'd have on that is it's something I've dealt with in the UK quite extensively in regards to the internal finishing of properties when we would insulate the walls before we cover them with plasterboard, whether
Mm.
it be a metal frame around the wall or on the ceiling. You would insulate that area before the plasterboard goes on to cover it up and give you your surface prepared, ready for decoration.
So
Whether it be
back onto the
painting,
block work.
plastering.
And what about in the void in the ceiling?
Same. It's the same as you put in the wall. So what people don't know about um, insulation, and I always explain this, and I used to have to teach this actually when I was in the UK a few years back, which is when you insulate your property, it's like a fridge, yeah,
Yeah.
or like a cool box. Let's say a cool box, right? So a cool box, you see, it's got a plastic outer shell, which say your blockwork outside. Then you've got the inside shell, which is sometimes the blockwork or the plasterboard here on the inside. In the middle, they have a foam,
Yep.
which doesn't allow to heat transfer. That doesn't allow to heat to transfer very quick. You understand? So it also does the same thing for the cold. So if you're in a
Right.
cold climate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you understand if you're in a cold climate, um, the cold the cold from outside doesn't disturb your heat so quickly on the inside.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
same when you're in a hot climate, the heat from outside doesn't disturb your nice cool climate on the inside. So that's why you insulate.
Yep. So literally, it's the same type of insulation, huh? With a
Say again.
reflective back. It's the same type of insulation with a reflective back or something.
Yes, yes. So the one with the reflective back is it's in the UK. We have that because of condensation. So that
Okay.
we have when the cold meets the heat of the inside, you get a lot of condensation on the back of the insulation. So that water will collect and drip inside to the properties. That's the reason why you have that on there. So it runs off the back down the sides. But in here, we can just use normal insulation.
Oh, excellent. I think
Yeah,
we had a little glitch at the beginning. So I'm just going to do this. Hi, guys. I'm Sam from Team Apple, and we're Ghana bound. And today we are having an informal chat about building and how we've been getting on and the different projects that we've been doing while we've been here. And if you just caught the middle of that, we were just talking about the insulation in rooms, just like when you're in the colder sphere. Here, the battle is to cool and chill rooms. So this is Yao. He came over to Ghana around the same time as me. He is in the construction industry. He's very good on his finishing. And in fact, let's take this opportunity again. Just reintroduce yourself. I think the beginning of our broadcast got glitched out.
okay. Yeah. So my name is Seth Yasifa. I came over, as Sam said, about a year ago. I was in construction as a plasterer back in the UK, plasterer dry liner. That involves suspended ceilings and wall partitions, basically the finishing of the inside of your property, preparing it ready for decoration, whether it's painting, plastering, whatever you're going to do. And yeah, I've brought that out to Ghana to try and use that to earn my money to help me survive out here. So at the moment, I'm working with a company, very good company by the name of Jacob West. Please check them out online. Quick plug, Jacob West Limited, Jacob West GH. I've got a wonderful website on there, lots of properties available. And I also have a couple of projects myself ongoing for friends and some family members back in the UK who are looking to build here. I'm looking to take more on. So, get in touch. Get in touch with Sam and let me know.
Definitely. So, guys, if you're new here on the channel, we welcome questions all the time. We love the questions. And hey, you're even welcome to hit the link that I'm sure will come up in the comments in the section, and come on the show. We're very welcoming. Hey, it's all about you at the end of the day. We're trying to make your return as wahala free as possible. One family at a time, as another channel would say. So yeah, today's a real informal chat about how we've been getting on and how our builds have been getting on and our new businesses. And this is perfect mix of both, because I know you've started a business in Ghana, in the building industry. And like you just said, it's drywalling, it's the finishing touches and it's the bit that everyone sees. It's
Yeah.
it's those lovely smooth surfaces, flawless. You're going to see his work on my projects, definitely. But how have you found it? What was the differences when you came and got over here? How was it getting to start your business?
Well, it's not an easy process. You need to sort of get. You start the business. Basically, I started by creating a website, creating the contacts, just a simple basic Google website for people to contact you on. And then after a while, I think you're able to do that first until you're actually making profit. Then you have to go and register.
Right.
That's what I've found out so far by speaking to a couple of friends who are lawyers in that sort of industry. So at the moment, I'm just starting out. I haven't really made any money at all doing it. Just trying to get the table type of thing. One of the major differences that you'll find with trades, you're not so separated. So, you get your plumber just comes in and does his bit. You got your mason comes in.
I think
you'll find that.
I think you're breaking up. Try and jump back in on the chat, and I'll get you straight back on. I think we lost him. So we have Mike, Destination Africa. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm well, Sam. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you turn your volume up a little bit?
Turn up a bit. Okay. Is that any better?
Perfect. We can hear you nice and loud and clear. How are you doing?
Hey, Charlie, we're well. We're well. Just it's been a good day today. Sun came out, and yeah, just having some time with the family.
Excellent. So, just a little bit of background. Destination Africa. Do you want to tell the people a little about your organization and what you're doing?
Cool. Yeah. So, for those that don't know, I'm Michael Cole Richardson, co-founder with my wife Abena Richardson, and we founded Destination Africa. So, Destination Africa does children's empowerment programs, primarily trying to build people up both in culture, language, history, and the heritage, and also trying to give the skills to the next generation. So our motto is inspire the next generation, because we want to build the learners of today and the leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
To take on Africa and all the challenges and bring all those solutions.
That's awesome. My son goes to Destination Africa. He loves it. My daughter will be following, and it really gives me that feel of the Saturday schools that we used to have, learning about your heritage, the Pan African mindset. Fantastic. Again, guys, Mike's an OG. When we got there, he really looked after us. He really made us feel welcome. And Yao, have we got you? I think he's still having a technical issue there. Yeah, he looks glitched. So we're talking, we're literally talking about building a home and the reality of building your home in Ghana. And what was your return like? And from that side of things, how was it for you? Everyone's got such a different story.
Wow. Okay. In terms of building a home, for us, we put the first challenge on, making sure we settle, because moving over to Ghana, there are so many things on the go. There's so many things happening. I mean, from hoping that your wife settles, hoping that the children settle, hoping that to transition with their education. Yet alone the day to days. Where am I going to get gas from? How do I top up my electricity? All these things are happening, and we said, what? Once we touch down, once we land, let's find our feet. And an important thing also is to make some money. And it's one thing when you first come in and you're parachuting in, as you descend, you want to cushion yourself as much as possible, whilst knowing that it will take time before income starts to come in. And also, you don't exactly know where you want to live. So all these things are going on, 101 different things happening. And I didn't want to add building the house to the mix, because I felt it can be very pressurized. Again, I'm not an expert builder. So I just said, let me find my feet. Let me find exactly where I want to be. Let's try to generate some income and some revenue before we tackle that massive milestone. So at present, we haven't started building a house for ourselves yet.
And you make a very good point. There's so much going on just to steady the ship. If the number one thing is the roof over your head,
Exactly.
and that can prove a challenge, especially the way rents and so on and so forth are done in Ghana. You really have to plan carefully to get that sorted. We have the lady herself coming to join us this week. She's with us all the time, but today she come out from behind the comment section. Yabs,
Hi.
hey, how you doing?
I'll pop on to see the guys. Hi, see you all.
Oh, what, the male energy was too much, huh?
It's too much. You should need to balance it
Hi,
out.
yeah. Hi, Mike.
Hey, yeah.
Everyone's really getting a little glimpse into some of our village.
Yes.
We all. It's surprising how small Accra is. Really,
Yes.
you really can feel the community vibe and spirit amongst those who've got the mindset to do so.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's when we moved in, we had great help from family, from friends. And I always say to myself, sometimes that initial, when you land, is tough, and when you have family and friends there to sort of soften it, it just makes it that bit more manageable. That okay, whatever you've learned, there's someone else coming in, and as long as they're sort of willing to learn and they're a bit patient, and you can pass some of the things that you learnt onto them, then hopefully they can do it to someone else. And as you say, that the community grows, and it's not an easy road. And every now and then, you need encouragement. You need a bit of time to hang out with the guys, have some kebabs, have a couple of drinks, and just, reminisce on life back in the UK or whatever it may be.
So that's what you guys get up to when you go out.
I think maybe
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, you're nearly close to the protocol, bro. You're nearly.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question coming, guys. It's from Des. He says, maybe you can help us with this. It shouldn't do, but why does masonry work in Africa always look so sloppy compared to elsewhere? you think the people don't have pride in their work? And do you think that it will give you problems in the future?
Good question.
It looks sloppy. I think that depends on the artisan you're using. I think as well that with the block work, with brickwork in UK or the Western world, because as I said about the trades, it leads into what I was talking about the trades. Because the tradesman is only a bricklayer, all he does is mix mortar and lay bricks. That is it. He can make that. That's his job. That is it. He just does that perfectly. The mason in Africa not only lays blocks and bricks, he also plasters. He also makes cement concrete beams. He also does the structure. He does the foundation. He screeds. He does so much work. Block work is just a part of what they do. They don't need it to be neat because they're going to be the ones plastering it afterwards. So it doesn't need to be. In fact, you want it a bit rough for the plaster to adhere to that wall.
Yeah, on the main, most block work doesn't get seen.
That's it. That's why. Yeah,
it's always going to be plastered over. And looking at some of the tools and machinery that people use abroad to do beams and stuff, they really go back to the old school and do it that way here and by hand. You know, trying to get
by hand.
Out by hand, trying to get, you know, the what do you call it, the honeycomb situation from pillars and stuff out. So yeah, that I've noticed that. But a good mason will always have your lines nice and straight.
That's right.
There won't be waves in the wall. So yeah, it's and that's not to say every mason doesn't have equipment, because some of these massive big bills, they've got everything that they should have.
Yeah.
You know,
they're very modern and pretty sophisticated, as you'd think we are in the West with their equipment. But you're talking about the everyday mason who's probably using sometimes some wooden tools, one trowel that he picks up for a few cedis at the local tool market there. So
and even rent, right?
yes, it doesn't look perfect, but it definitely does the job. And it doesn't really bring any issue later because all the houses have been built that same way. If you look at any house from the beginning, from foundation to finish, you'll notice a lot of similarities in how they look.
Yeah. It's really good today. We've got all sorts of angles looking at how to building your home in Ghana, because it is, from Mike's perspective, it's more than just the bricks and mortar that you're putting down, but we do have the bricks and mortar side as well that is very important. Building that community and that network. You've heard us in our episodes so many times talking about the importance of having and building that network and getting that side of that supporting. You're your neighbor's policeman, he's yours. You're their fireman, he's yours. You know, it's when you come here, you know you're going to need a team around you. And that's why some of the earlier trips to get to know people are so important. So very important. Yeah. So the next point I think where we left off before our people joined us was talking about the heating insulation in between the roof.
What we call the roof sort of space, the soffit, and the ceiling. Yeah.
So I didn't want you to lose that completely. I mean, someone's probably waiting on the answer to that question.
Yeah. So basically, where the roof members are, just to continue that, where the roof members are, you would fill that space with the APR roll. We call it in the UK, the same APR roll that just fills the space, and it's basically a huge, like a huge duvet, because it's got air pockets all inside, and that's what stops the transfer of different temperatures from one temperature to another space from another space. So you just fill that whole area with that. You then cover. You can use either the APR roll, or you can use a solid one that you'll talk about with the foil on the back, but that's much more expensive. But that is easier to install. But they both perform just as well as each other. Yeah. But yeah, that's just to stop. You then cover that over with the plasterboard or however you're covering your ceiling, which should be plasterboard, and that will help with keeping the place cool. As long when you got AC on, you'll find is that it'll keep it so icy that you be able to cool the place down and then turn the AC off, and it should remain cool for a very long time.
Right, fantastic. Thanks for
That's good to know, because I know one of the issues now we're facing in Ghana is that electric's gone up by like, what is it, 27% or something. So I think people will be asking how to build their houses in a more, I guess, economic way, in a more sustainable way. And even those who may not have been interested in solar or sustainable living, I think maybe more now, because everyone's interested in saving their pocket. So that's really good to know, how to keep the houses cooler. I know the UK, they're trying to figure out how to keep their houses warm this winter, but over here we're trying to figure out how to keep the AC running.
Just to reiterate again what I was explaining to Sam, what you said there, about just in case anyone else has missed it, is that the same process to keep the place cool in Africa is the same process as to keep your place warm in the UK. It's the same process. It's just the transference of the temperature from outside to inside that you try to stop, and that's it. It's the same process.
Okay. Excellent. I'm going to be a builder by the end of this whole. Once our house is finished, I'm going to be like a professional in every single area.
I know,
by default.
Just totally find yourself geeking out on the weirdest things, like today, light tunnels and stuff. But Des in our comments has made a point. He said, in the West, it always looks nice when I go to construction sites, but in Africa, you see all these unfinished houses that look like they just don't care. Now,
good point.
In Africa, or let's say in Ghana, it is quite common to cut your coat to your cloth. So if you can get the block work done up to a level, you will get the block work done up to a level that you can afford, and carry on with life as you refill up your funds and try and get up to the first, to the lentil, or you got past the lentil and now you're refilling your funds again, and maybe you're laying the next big expense. Maybe if you're going up in the story building, you've got to do that next part. So doing it section by section is very normal here, and however long it's going to take you, it's going to take you.
Yes. You know, let me jump in there. It's like it's different to what we're used to. That's what we got to remember. We're in a different environment altogether. So one of the things that people have a lot of issue with is sometimes with the land titles and ownership. So that's why you'll see people just quickly put up a structure, because once you put up a structure, it's like you've claimed it. That's now yours. Someone can't encroach on your land, or you can't have issues later with land guards and whatever problems that can come up. That's why you have to make sure you have a land title with the land that you're building on. The other second point is a point you made already about how much you've got to afford to build to a certain point. And you can just do it in increments, slowly but surely. But I'll tell you one good thing that you do notice about it, even though he's saying, you know, building sites, he sees them always look neat. In Ghana, what you'll notice, especially in Ghana, I don't know about the rest of the continent, but in Ghana, you might see these unfinished houses in one area. Go away and come back 6 months later, and you will not recognize that same strip of road. Go away again, come back 6 months later, you will not recognize that same strip of road. It will be completely busy. It will be like, where did this come from? Because it goes up that fast. So where you're there, yes, for a couple of weeks or a month, it looks like, wow, there's loads of unfinished buildings. Go away just for 9 months and see how that place looks again. You won't recognize it.
Very true.
And just to add to that, I think also sometimes, like you said, there are some places in well-developed areas that literally just run out of funds. And people don't have the funds to develop. Well, sometimes someone may be developing the land and the person in charge of it, say, passes away. And there's a high chance it would stay like that for a very long time until either someone decides to continue it, sell it on, and the process starts all over again. So there are many factors, but ultimately, like you said, there is no mortgage facilities aren't readily available to give you $150,000 for you to build your house in 6 months or less. So people have to do it piecemeal. And, you know, even as someone from the diaspora, for people to get $100,000, you know, most people don't have $100,000 to hand to build a house in went very quickly. So yeah, it's the Western world minus the financial assistance. So
yeah, you was
so,
going
yeah.
to raise a point. Yao, it looked like you had something on the tip of your tongue. Oh, I think he's frozen.
I think you're frozen, yeah.
But yeah, your point is very true. We bought some land and we were going to put do some farming on it. Oh, you're back. Go for it.
I'm back. Can you hear me? I was saying, Michael, my brother, just mentioned the difficulty in getting mortgage facilities out here. That I can, is really beginning to change. I've been approached by a few people who are offering that facility to people from where we are from. They means test you as they would in the West, check your finances, check your income, and they will give mortgages now on builds, and they will pay for the whole build, and you pay as normal to
Is that
them.
in Ghana?
In Ghana, yes, in Ghana, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what their interest rates are like? Because I know we'll be asked this after you've said this now.
Yeah, that I don't know. I know I put it this way. I know when I speak to them, they're quite high because I think it's like personal banks or little local banks that do it. So they're doing their own capital. So so I don't know the ins and outs. I just know I've been approached by people speaking on this subject.
It's such a good point, yeah, because mortgages are available now, and it's making life a bit easier for those who want to build and borrow and get a head start with it. That's really good. And also bearing in mind that the interest rates are a bit higher in Ghana now because it's an up and coming thing. So hopefully over time the interest rates will drop, but at least it's available. It's an option.
Yeah.
But most people do.
Money is quite expensive to borrow in Ghana. Yeah. So I think I was just saying we were about the growth in Ghana. We were looking at a piece of land to put some farming on, and by the time we got back in a few months, there were houses next door and all sorts. They were just the plan was done, and we were outside Accra. We weren't inside Accra. We were just outside, and everyone had bought plots next to us, round beside us, and that's it. That plan's dead. I'm gonna go further out of field. So yes, this place is very dynamic in its growth. There's a lot going on. Even the economic situation seems to not be crashing the building sector. It's just going nuts.
I mean, it's expensive. It's very expensive, but people will still pay. For example, cement. We always use cement as an example.
Yeah.
Cement was, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Cement was, when I first came to Ghana, it was sub 50 Ghana cedis per bag. Yeah. Per 50 kg bag. Yeah. We are now at, I think it's 72, 74 cedis. So that tells you, and building hasn't slowed down. People are still buying cement.
Yeah, because people know it's going up, isn't it? So if you sit down and wait, it's not going to drop back down.
48? Yeah. So that's right. I remember
right
that.
Now I'm wishing I'd bought 10 bags last week. Listen, guys, we've got another member of the family ready to join us on the screen. It's Douglas up there in Kumasi. Sorry, we've got two members up in Kumasi. We've got Yao and Douglas are all joining us from Kumasi, and the Accra crew here. Yabs, Mike, and myself are all beaming to you from.
Hi, Douglas.
From Accra. Douglas, how you doing, Chairman? Have we got him?
And Douglas is now at the end stage of building his house.
Hi, Brother Richardson.
Hey, Douglas. Akwaba.
Yeah.
So if you guys have been following, you see Douglas and his family have been putting a lot of work in, and they've really definitely got their feet wet in this building game up there in Kumasi. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, watching the progress, it's great when it's not completed, so that you can see how things unfold. And I was just going through sorting all my videos and photos and stuff, and you could see how it was and where it is going now. And I had the architect today because we're trying to develop the other side of the house, like our own business, build our business in an apartment for the kids. So the architect came in and we measured everything. We're trying to have like a conference room, training room, can be also for YouTube studio and stuff. And then at the top have like 2 apartments. So that when the kids move, instead of them renting, they can move into the main, the new apartments.
Oh,
so that's what we are working on. And yes, the building materials are going up. I heard it.
Yeah,
the
but the
building materials are
mean,
going up. Yeah, we're doing the last bits of the ground, the casting.
Excellent. And it's going well, huh? How did you find how did you find your artisans? How did you find your builders? And did you have to go through many? Were you lucky to start from the beginning and stick with the same one? How was it gone?
Actually, my brother did an excellent job when we were in the UK. I mean, we have a very tight-knit family and with great values. So I would do the same thing for any of my siblings. So my brother took care of everything from getting the house, because we got the Kumasi one was an uncompleted house that we bought. And then not all of the rooms were finished. So when you get an uncompleted house, you just do it to your taste. And that's what we did. So my brother had a very good network of artisans. And, I call them, UK, we have this trusted tradesmen. Yeah. So it's a kind of, so you see tradesmen everywhere, you can get the good and the bad. So that's why they created this trusted tradesmen in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I'm looking into, like building a network. I told Amanda the other time that having a network of trusted people,
Good
so
idea.
that we can refer them to each other. Yeah. So I've got great artisans, and the one thing is also my relationship with. One thing is also my relationship with them. I treat them like family members.
Right.
Sometimes after work, go and get some drinks. We drink together, we chat. Get a lady to cook for them or give them money to buy food, pay them on top. I mean, when you motivate them, when you're doing our work, it's like they go the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They go the extra mile. And that's what I've realized,
Yes. It's very important. Very important what Douglas is saying. And my brother, welcome. How you doing? It's very important that one thing I do every time when I go to site is you turn up with a bag of pure water. A standard. Yep. Turn up with a bag of pure water, cold. Give it to them. Sometimes if you've got a few guys, what's it cost to go and buy ken fish for everyone for lunch that day? They'll pull out the stops for you, not because of the money, because you're worried about their belly, because you're worried about their health, them. And it's really important. That there is a very important point in regards to builders and artisans in Ghana. That's very important to them, and I've discovered that.
Yeah. Hey, sweet tea, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It's like a cup of tea in the UK.
Yeah, it's the cup of tea version, tea and fish. I've got a question for Douglas.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, Douglas, you have gotten a lot further than us with your build. You're now, you've nearly finished. So we've talked about the cost of cement and things. How have you found getting the finished things like tiles, kitchen cabinets? Have you imported a lot of it, or have you managed to source high quality things in Ghana?
Did you manage to get that, Douglas? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if he heard you.
I'm not sure if you heard, Douglas. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what I've realized is, we still buy a lot of even just the casting alone, because we have some part that we use for like garden, and so we've done the green grass now. It's growing. I just came back from watering it. So we have a portion where like the driveways, the walkways, where we are doing the cementing and stuff. And the way the cement price have shot up, I mean, I think last week there is one called Very Strong. I mean, that's the grade. It's 73 cities now. And the one that we bought was 67.30. So one thing I've realized in Ghana, that if you wait, you wait to pay more.
Yeah.
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 If you wait to pay more. And best example is like painting. When we came, we bought paint. I think this were the foreign one. I'm not sure. It was the bucket was 250 cedis, the paint.
Yeah.
So I told my brother we have to get the painter to do give us a quote for the whole for the outside build. And he said, okay, because I was estimating like 20 buckets. He said we have to start buying them, because what we used to pay for 250 is now 350, and the 2 days later it was 370. And he says it will reach 400 soon. I was like, what? I mean, the way the price, especially when the dollar changes, the way the prices, I mean, shoot up is unbelievable. Yeah, so in terms of building materials, they keep changing. And sometimes what I've realized is that even when the dollar still comes down, they don't reduce the prices. The price will get stuck at the new high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone just joining us right live now.
The more you postpone some of the purchases, the higher price you pay in future.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good advice.
Guys, you're joining us live. It's Ghana Bound. We have Mike Richardson from Destination Africa. We got my awesome wife, Yaba, over there with the silvery background. We've got Doug from Family by Nature. Oh, here we go. Yep, Doug from Family by Nature. And my good brother, Yao, who is our sitting expert today on all things construction. Not to put you in the hot seat too much, right? Listen,
I got 4 shoulders.
Well deserved.
I got a few questions that I want to put to you primarily, Yao. It's from Des. Des has been very vocal in our comments.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Des.
First one he said is land selling close to the airport is so expensive without the infrastructure to back it up. Who is getting rich from this scam? Now, I don't know, what is your feelings on that comment?
My feelings on that comment are that it's not a scam. These lands are sought after. People want to be accessible to the airport. Land prices anywhere near the airport, if you're talking about East Legon Hills, East Airport, Airport Hills, Chado, all these areas near, not far, like within a 20-minute, half an hour drive of the airport, are expensive. Yeah. People are buying them and just leaving them there. Simple. They're very popular areas, and it's not going to be cheap. It's not a scam because people are paying the price. People own the land, and some people then sell it on. Yeah. So they bought the land many, many years ago when it was just a bush, and now they're ready to sell it on because they're going to make a small profit from it and probably buy something in the further out themselves.
Yeah. A sought after area is always
a sought after area.
Sought after area.
Yeah.
Regarding the infrastructure, yeah, there is an issue with local government or whatever. Infrastructure,
yeah, with the road
could always be better. And this is a very young country, and we've got to, as we grow, I'm sure the infrastructure can only get better. But
yeah,
the nature of the property market out here is that being as close as possible to the airport seems to be a thing that is well sought after. All right. Me personally, I don't like planes flying over me every 2 minutes.
No, exactly.
But for some reason, for a lot of other people, they feel the need to be very, very close to the airport, thus hitting a massive price tag. Yeah, because it's the same. Location, location, location. Anywhere you go. And if you're going to be that close to the center of the capital of any city in the world, you're going to play a premium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just to
simple as
add to
that.
that as well, you're no longer competing against other landowners looking to build a nice house. Now you're competing against developers who
Yes.
are looking to buy
Location,
maybe old 100 by 100 plots and looking to build 7 stories up.
Yeah.
And these are multi-million-dollar
100%.
investments and so on. So, like Sam said, the airport is a prime location. So, if you think it's too much, there's probably a consortium somewhere that it's right up their street, and someone has said, the yields and the returns
Yeah.
are going to be X amount. So that's what drives up the value.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, this is such a good day. The room is filled with returnees that have changed their dreams into reality, taken that step and followed with action. And we're now talking and sharing our experiences with all of you guys that are thinking about it. Could it happen? Maybe. No, it's not possible. There's too many negatives. We've done it, guys. And to be honest with you, it's the best decision I've made. And I'm not sure I'm going to get much of a different answer from the guys here. Do we have an accord? How do you feel, guys, about your decision?
Yeah, haven't looked back.
Mike?
Yeah, I haven't looked back. I mean, to be honest, it's one of the things we said we're primarily moving for the children, for the future, for to do our part to, take Africa to the next level. We always say, if the continent does well, Black people around the world do well.
Yeah.
And, I was tired of uncles and aunties and just hearing the conversations of these are the problems, but not really being anything more than hot air, living 3,000 miles away. But now I said, you know what, let's be part of the solution. We're not going to do everything by ourselves, but everyone in their area focusing on their expertise, would bring that dream, hopefully, one step closer. So for us, it's constantly work in progress. You're learning new things. You reinvent yourself. You touch on new areas, and you're doing all that with us, with our children. And there's no regrets. Through all the hair pulling moments. I always tell people that's why I keep my hair short. Longer, I'll be able to get a good grip and put it all out.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, through it all, you will keep your eye on a bigger prize, and no regrets so far.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think we all have, at one point, have mentioned our children and how much they've benefited from this move. And I really think that's part of the answer, that this change will be a generational change. We'll move forward and we'll step forward and hand that baton over to our children that are much more confident, self-aware, having an understanding of their roots and their heritage and their position of what's the word I normally use? Influence. Yeah. And it's going to be a generational thing. The next generation should keep handing over, and it's our chance now to lay some serious roots down.
Yeah.
Okay, Des has come up with another comment. He says, is it not better to build big projects with public spaces for everyone to enjoy? Is the whole of Ghana just going to be bad maintained houses next to each other without any purpose? Is that development? Wow.
Good point, Des. Good point.
There are developers now that are building with green spaces in mind. There are equally other developers that want to maximize on every square inch. Everything is actually here for you. Whichever version that you want It might not be within your pocket range, or it may well be, but it's all here. The innovation going on in this country right now, there's everything. If you want a green development powered on solar, you can go and buy that and be part of that development. If you want a box with no greens, I mean, we've been working with a lot of good developers now, and they're listening to the needs and the wants of the clients, the customers, and they'd be mad not to, because they've got products that they want to sell. When it comes to town planning, I can only say I went through the local municipal, and just like anywhere, in actual fact, there's rules and regulations to this stuff. You know, there is people in the offices that will not pass your work if it's not, or if it's in the wrong area. If that land is not yours, you're not going to get the certificate generally. So I think the point I'm really trying to make is the endless boxes with no seeming of planning. You'll find that most of these developments are aimed at people returning, or aimed at investors, and
Yeah.
there's a lot more thought going into projects and developments now.
Yeah. So can
I
I
mean,
just add to that as well?
I mean,
So like 20 years ago, I remember there was an apartment block, a hostel block going up near, where was it? It was near Valley View University. And at the time, what people were looking for was the hostels. And they on each floor, there were 6 sort of apartments, and then they all had a shared toilet and shower on each floor.
Right.
And over the space of like 10 years as he was building this project, the demand changed. Now all the students wanted ensuite. So where before, you know, his target were happy to share toilets and showers together. You know, now they've seen the new developments and stuff. Now everybody wants it ensuite. So he had to go back and cut the sizes of the rooms, you know, put in plumbing and everything else, because it's all about supply and demand. You know, everybody would love to have a garden and ample space, but some of these developers, you know, they only get paid based on the amount of plots, amount of
Yeah.
houses they can put on a certain number of plots. And although some people love more greenery, the question is, as Sam said, if you go and buy somewhere which has more greenery, you are actually paying for that indirectly, because they can't put houses on that green space. So it's a bit like swings and roundabouts. And at the end of the day, people would prefer to have a house with probably less greenery, if not next to nothing, than not having a house at all. So that supply and demand is always a tough balance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just gone missing in action when I just needed to ask him about that on his side from the developer's point of view. How is it looking up in Kumasi with the development? Are you seeing a lot of new things going on, Douglas, up there?
Yeah, there are some estates all coming up, but you have a lot of like detached projects here in Kumasi. Unlike Accra, where you have like a lot of developers developing different communities, like gated communities. You have more in Accra.
So there, it's more singular houses, part of the community.
Yeah, Kumasi has got some places like that. I think with the airport now, the international airport now coming to Kumasi, it will really facilitate even more development.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
How are you finding it in your sector? And I know your cousin is a prominent developer over there. Some of the things that how does he react to the market? What's his view on what's going on, and what's his, without telling me his intimate plans for his next development, but what seems to guide you guys when you're doing a development?
As you say, supply and demand is quality of build and what the customers are looking for, and knowing who is our customer base. Returnees, people coming back from whether it be US or UK. want a certain standard of living. And unfortunately, many of the products here that you buy are sometimes what people go for is the cheapest of what they can get. And we get all here. We've got all kinds. We've got the low range, you've got the medium range, you've got the top end. But you get a lot more of the sort of cheap Chinese stuff here, but you've also got the middle of the road, good value Turkish material. And then you've also got, and this I'm talking about finishing products, taps, doors, door handles, door furniture, anything, you know. Then you've got sort of the top range, you've got Italian stuff as well as UK and US stuff as well here. So getting the correct mix of that quality, because you can still pay through the nose. Remember, all this stuff is imported. You're going to be paying all that cost if you went all top end. So it's getting that right mix of quality and practical usage out of this, out of the products you're using. Because, you know, if you're buying a house for yourself to use, that house will... you'll give it nice features, nice door handles, nice taps that are going to last you. Whereas if you're building something to rent out, the products may be not as expensive, but still durable, still good, and will give you some usage. So I think having that quality of house, that quality of build, targeting your customer is very important, and that's how you sort of navigate this climate. And I think there are a lot of people who are very much into the sustainability. That's very important now. So even with the rising cost of building materials, people are still wanting to go solar. People are still wanting to try and be off grid by drilling a borehole. I mean, I did a borehole just a couple of weeks ago, and they were so happy with the result for their build on the land. They have an old house and a new house on the same bit of land. It's a big bit of land that they also wanted it to feed the old house. So these things are really important. Greenery, like the comment said earlier, people are making gardens. You know, they're planting trees. They're having open spaces outside. So these are the things I think that's where we're moving to at the moment, and that sort of really doesn't get affected by the prices going up.
I have another question for you. Maybe some of the other guys can answer or chime in. Architecture in Ghana. You may well have kind of answered the question because you're building for your audience, but I'm seeing a lot of typical Western type housing. Are you coming across any architects that are adding Ghanaian flair or something a bit different? Is there any taste for that in the market? You've worked in England and you've worked in Ghana. Is there anything that you can say, or are we cookie cuttering in what we find in the West here?
No, most definitely. We have a Ghanaian style and flair that is added to the modern style of property that people are looking to live in. You'll see we have sort of these veranda spaces and outside spaces. These are included onto property styles that, yes, you would see in the West, but you wouldn't necessarily see the outside space. Especially with the drinker symbolism. You'll see that a lot on properties, even on the modern ones, snuck in somewhere, whether it be on the fence wall or something like that around. You will see, people put their cars in front of their houses on their land. You know, we don't sort of park out on the street. And that I feel is very, obviously, tropical, where it's hot. We seem to have that all over Africa. We work with architects who are definitely Ghanaian born and bred, who definitely have their own style and flair into designing modern chic living, but definitely of a Ghanaian taste. So yes, you might see some aspects of what we've been used to living in the West and people wanting that same feel in their property here. but Ghana has its own little flavour. Adds its own little flavour to that as well, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see, I mean, driving around Accra, you can definitely see what was a trend a few years ago in the style of houses. There's some areas that they got all George Jetson looking houses, and then you've got, you know, with the curves and everything. Mike's laughing. He knows what I'm talking about, right? And then you've got, like, I think the new thing now is graffito finishing outside of the houses. You're seeing that textured finish. So once one guy's done it, it's you could literally put the year that was the hot thing. And
just to add to that, in terms of architecture, I've come across a few, like literally across the range, from guys who would just knock up a traditional Ghanaian looking bungalow type house with a steeple roof, not much design, just bedroom, like just a sort of standard design. And I've spoken to some architects who have been very specific, down to they want to know where your plot is before they actually design the layout and the orientation of the house, so that, you know, maybe the sun rises in a particular part. They focus on airflow through the property. And there's one in particular, this architect built, and he had certain overhangs over certain parts of the house. So when the sun was at certain points in the day, the overhangs would basically block out the direct sunlight landing on the windows. And that was like sort of bespoke housing. So in terms of skilled architects, there are definitely skilled architects around who can design like beautiful houses. And, you know, there was a part where they had a garage, a storage bit, where they kept a lot of things like bicycles, gas cylinders. And again, as Yao said, they used the Adinkra blocks. It's just so that air and ventilation could constantly pass through that part whilst keeping it secure, that people couldn't take things out. So yeah, there is a wide range of quality architects which people can access in buildings.
It's awesome. How did you get on with your build, Mr. Douglas? In terms of the architecture, was it your vision? Were you assisted with the build, and how was that process for you? Oh, we've lost his vocals. Can you hear him, Mike?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah, like in terms of our building, it was an uncompleted house, so we bought it, and then we liked the style, and we changed it. I mean, there were some parts that we could change, like extending the kitchen and the landscaping, the rooms. So not every room was done, so we could choose the tiles like en suite, you know, doing it like the way we wanted. And we still have an architect who is doing the other part of the building.
Right.
And we met today, and he's not far from us, and he was actually recommended to us by the Mason. They are friends, so they live in the same area, so he can come around very often and see how things go. And that's very important. Sometimes if the architect is far from you, the visits is also sometimes could be also a problem. And if you don't have the architect to oversee what the mason is doing, sometimes the masons, they can do their own thing.
Yeah. You have to have that project manager, right?
Yeah, but like Michael said, they are very skilled. I mean, I just could sometimes go around the neighborhood, look at the buildings. I was like, wow, these people can build.
Definitely. So, believe it or not, we're coming to the end of our hour slot. I mean, that's just flown by for me. And I did mention it earlier, but it's so encouraging to come together as returnees that have made that journey back, and, you know, just share our experiences, and hopefully we can encourage others that are thinking about coming back or in the process of coming back, and welcome them to the village. You know, it's definitely a mindset. If you're looking for everything to be sorted and fixed, it might not be the best fit for you. If you're up for, you know, beating challenges and dealing with challenges is the word. Yeah. You're going to fit in fine. It's going to be a wild ride. But genuinely as well, it's not one I ever regret. Have I got everyone there? Are we still online? It just gone eerily
We are,
quiet.
yes. I can hear you.
You are.
Yeah.
Good. One of our team's most
Yeah, I can
recent
hear
video
you.
highlights buying and selling homes, incomplete homes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was just trying to read that the comment underneath. You can finish to anything. You can finish to your own style in Ghana. You're free to express yourself in buildings. Unless you're in a gated community that has a code, even the internals you can change up. But once you're outside, you're free to express yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
the thing with buying an uncompleted home is, one, you don't have issues with the land. You don't have land issues. You don't have land issues. And
yeah.
sometimes, and these are sometimes like the land size are the older like sizes. So some of them have got big lands that you can actually change to your taste. You can add another, like we are doing to that, because we have a bigger space. So the other side, we said, okay, there was a structure there. I think the owner was using to build like a store or something for the wife. I think for the wife to work from there. But then when we came, we said, okay, we had this architect and he had to redesign it. So he said we should take it like 6 feet from each side of the wall. So I told him, well, why not knock everything down and do it like create something new? Because we needed that space. So we knocked everything down and now we have a big space. So I got a new architect who came in with the drawings today, since last week. He's here with the whole stuff here.
Oh yeah,
different
everything down to a T. And in fact, you have to submit those drawings when you're getting your permits, right?
Yeah, so we've got everything here, and then we went through today. So in terms of sometimes the good deals, you can get good deals with like uncompleted houses.
Yeah.
I had one of my neighbors showed me a house that it's not actually like 15 to 20 minutes drive from my place. I mean, it's if I had money, I would have bought it. It's a good deal with, tons of maybe some can buy, some might can buy it so that I'll move in.
the Kumasi HQ, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm telling you.
We use it for Airbnb. And this is good because it has got the person will build like 2 properties on one was maximizing the land. So I said, wow. And I think because of she has a business and business is going down, so she needed money. So the uncompleted ones, you can get good deals because most of them needed cash. So if you have some cash, I mean, one of my friends told me before coming to Ghana, told me, Doc, all you need is put cash on the side, because you will get some deals that will blow your mind.
Yeah.
So another ways with uncompleted buildings, you don't have land issues. You don't have any land issues, and most of them have got sizable, plots that you can extend. So it's also another way of. There are so many options here. There are so many options when it comes to building.
Yeah. A question for you, Douglas. So when you say buy land and uncompleted, obviously the problem is the structure's already there. So whatever taste that person had, you have to work within those confines, or do you knock a bit of it down and continue as you would like?
The structure is already there. So the structure must, in the first place, must appeal to you. the structure must appeal to you. First, there is a house that's going on. I saw they were just posting the for sale. Then I saw it on our street.
Yeah.
So I went there, and they were, I think they were looking for 1.5. I mean, that's the finished house, but they want to sell it. So I asked them, and the guy said it's 15 billion. So I was, 15 billion. I was thinking, that's the old Ghana cities.
Yeah, I really get confused with the old Ghana cities, especially as
they're still taking it back, and it's over 10 years.
That old Ghana cities is the. I mean, when they quote those prices, I was like, remember? Let me bring this with in. I wanted to buy kinky, this fancy kinky, right? And I asked the lady, she said 15 cities. I said, what? This small kinky, fancy kinky, 15 cities. that was the old Ghana cities. It's actually one city, 50 pesos. But I said 15 cities. I said, what? For this small kinky?
Okay. She's talking the old one. Yeah, you can get.
Yeah, so the price was, I think it's 1.5 million Ghana cedis, which is 15 billion.
Yeah, 150,000.
Yeah.
Pounds. Yeah, or something along that line.
Yes, exactly.
We have an interesting question, question from T'Challa. Infrastructure. Can you speak on infrastructure issues in Ghana, i.e., roads, sewer systems, public transportation? Are all homes connected to a central sewer system or septic tanks? Okay. Can I go?
Yeah. Who wants it first? I want it first.
Yeah, go for it, guys. Go for it.
Let's fight for it.
Mike, you hit something?
Okay, I'll touch very simply on already built up areas. So if the area is already built up, you're moving in, or you bought land in a place that is predominantly built, there's already houses, they're going to be connected to the water systems. Sewer systems are basic open gutter systems running, channeling water to a main sewer somewhere. All the sewers, all the open gutters may not be complete throughout a whole area, even in a fairly well developed area. But as a whole, septic tanks are normally, I think, probably the most popular means of sewage disposal. So most people manage that within their property boundaries. So yeah, that's for built up areas. I'll let someone else talk about virgin land or
okay. So yeah, do you have anything to add? I don't know if you caught the question, or have you seen it on the bottom? Do you have any? Yeah, I don't think he's quite here with us yet. But yeah, in response to what you're saying, just a quick tail end on developed areas. Mostly they depend on septic tanks, as you've said. It seems to me that the focus is more on the water coming in, getting Ghana water to places, rather than the sewage system. So it's quite normal to have septic tanks. I mean, when you go rurally in the UK, again, it becomes quite normal to have like septic tanks and a big gas tank, petrol, or not petrol, sorry, like an oil burner in the thing. Outside on virgin land, a lot of the time you will have to go and do a borehole. So that bores right down deep into the ground, and you will be getting your own water supply. The next thing is looking for the nearest electric post, and again, as a community, you can chip in and get it brought closer to you. Or if you are looking at virgin land, try and get a plot closest to the posts that are bringing in and carrying in the electric. And again, you're going to have a septic tank out on virgin lands, definitely. Yeah, are you back?
So with virgin lands as well, I think normally if it's a very virgin area, you have to, there'll be a local municipal which you have to, probably get alongside some of your other landowners and petition them, because normally it doesn't make sense for them to start installing poles in the middle of nowhere unless the community is going to be growing. So
it follows development a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. The developers should be wise to be trying to get the ECG to head over to their area, because it also adds as a it'll probably put more pounds on their pocket and more value on the property of land that they're trying to sell.
So as development grows, you'll see infrastructure come along with it. It's more that way than the other way around. That like Mike said here, that if there's 4 or 5 or 6 turning into 20, then you'll start seeing that it becomes more sensible to start putting that road in there, or the secondary road in to some level. What have you got to say about this T'Challa's question?
Okay, so the roads we know are an issue. They don't seem to be building them as fast as we would like. When they are built, the area flourishes straight away. But obviously that comes from the top, and I don't know the politics involved in why the roads are just taking so long to be done or even be repaired, the existing ones that are there. So the issue of roads is the same as it's been for a good few years, but when you're closer to town, definitely the roads are much better. We're seeing a lot more tarmac, and there's a couple of new roads actually in the East Legon area. Since I've been here, they've built a road from, I don't know if you guys know the area, from School Junction all the way up into East Legon, the foot of East Legon Hills. It was a dirt road for longest, about 2 kilometers long, but they built it literally in about 3 months. The whole road is a nice, lovely dual carriageway, and they're building another stretch that is continuing all the way to Tema. And this contractor is actually flying through the job. So they do sort the roads out, but I don't know what's happening at the top in regards to that. As for sewer
seems to be some really big projects that they're doing. When it comes to roads, it's kind of like all or nothing. They're doing the massive
like dual carriageways
intersections and dual carriageways and so on and so forth. As for public transport, I know the trains.
That's what I've seen. The bigger roads being done.
Yeah, it's big projects, isn't it? But saying that, there was a really nondescript little road off the Spintex
public transport
out of nowhere. Sorry.
Yeah, the public transport, the buses. That's our public transport, really, isn't it? One thing. They keep on running, man. They keep going, and I tell you what's one thing. The things they're better in is that you don't wait for them. They're just there all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you could just walk out to the roadside and you're getting one straight away. There's no bus stop, so you just hail it wherever you want. But I'm sometimes a bit frightened to get in them. Some of them, there's no MOTs on these things, man.
Informal bus stops, which I love, and there's one that I use quite a lot. Is that Shell signboard. The signboard has been gone for decades.
They still call it that.
My mum can barely remember it, and yet everybody knows Shell signboard. That's where you can jump off. That's an official stop for the Chotra crew. Again, on a public transport, guys, there's a train push. There's a push for the train network so it can start being revived. I know recently the Tema line has gone up. There's something going into Kumasi now, no? Are they working on that stretch as well?
I don't know about it.
And I know further up at Takwa, they're doing opening lines again.
There's a big, like, I think multi-million-dollar deals. So I think there's going to be main trunk arteries from the coast all the way up to Burkina Faso, and there's different stretches. There's going to be a western rail line sort of from the Accra Tema area across to Takoradi area, and then again another line from Takoradi up to Cape Coast. So that's the sort of the triangle type. But they're really trying to expand the rail in the country, both for business freight and also for personal passenger carriage. So over the next sort of year or two, I think that the first parts are going to be coming into, they're going to be commissioning those areas, and hopefully it should be a good alternative and a safe alternative. I heard there's a contract in place with, I think, a Chinese, don't quote me on that one, but a particular contractor who's got it for about 25 years for the maintenance, and it's they're gonna really go into the rail. So
yeah, I think, like you said, they are trying to connect all the way to Burkina Faso, a direct line straight through, which will be fantastic. So yeah, the big works, the big stuff seems to be happening. You locally with your neighbors will have to lobby the municipal for your particular road to get done. You know, that's very true. So guys, we have most definitely gone over our hour. Thank you all for coming. I have to get this one right here and put this signal up. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share with your friends the channels that are Family by Nature, Destination Africa, and me here at Ghana Bound. If you haven't done so already,
Ghana Bound,
please click that like button in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the family. Yaba always gets that done much better than me, but it's an ongoing joke. And Yao, do you have any links that you want to put out there for your company? Let the people know. Smoothest walls in West Africa.
Yeah, well, definitely contact yourself for any direct links. You can contact Ghana Bound. I'm sure I'll receive any information that's wanted or needed from the guys out there. Otherwise, definitely go and check out Jacob West GH Limited website. You'll be amazed as to see that the new Africa already exists as it's put on the website.
New Africa is here. Will come and join the party. And
come and join the party.
Mike, destinationafrica.com.
So it's Destination Africa Group TV, or our website is thedestinationafrica.com. So we're literally going to be doing a few changes on our Destination Africa site. It's coming. So at the start of next month, it's going to be some new interesting content. So yeah, guys, check us out, subscribe if you can, and also check out our website for some of our resources in empowering children and families.
Fantastic. Thank you so much again, guys. And for the rest of you, keep your eyes out. Next week, more guests, more talk. And please remember, you guys are totally welcome to come and join us live, jump on the screen. Let's have this conversation and let's make your return to Ghana as wahala-free as possible. Thank you so much, guys.
Guys, thank you.
I'm going back to where I belong. You're the reason why I'm singing this song. But I did you no wrong. But you broke my